Yes, doctor.
All right. Okay, so we will start, and after we finish the discussion with you, hopefully all problem will be solved. Okay.
Inshallah.
So welcome again to this session, another defense for MBA thesis. Allow me to welcome Dr. EzzElarab Elawoor, the supervisor of the student Sahm Alqatamin. He is the researcher for this research. Before we start, let me introduce Dr. EzzElarab. Dr. EzzElarab is an assistant professor, got his PhD from Arab Academy for Science and Technology and Maritime Transport from Alexandria in Egypt, in quality management in 2014. His main field of research is quality management in educational sector, especially in higher education. Dr. Elawoor has also extensive consultation in management field, yielding a better course delivery approach. Currently, he is lecturing in business and management field in different universities. And for myself, I will be the examiner for this thesis. My name is Ismail Abusaada. I got my PhD in business administration from the International Islamic University in Malaysia. And I'm the academic coordinator for the programs of international American universities in the Middle East. Welcome for all of you. And now I will leave the floor to Sahm to present his thesis. Sahm, you have around 20 minutes to deliver your presentation. Go ahead, please.
Thank you, doctor, so much. And I wish this sound issue will be solved with Mr. Dr. Az. And I'm I would to thank you so much, Dr. Ismail, for this introduction and for the guidance through the previous semesters. Today we will speak about my thesis. The subject of the thesis is the impact of the organization culture on the employees' well-being. My supervisor, Dr. Az, and my name is Sahm. This study will be for hotel sector, especially in Saudi Arabia, the Al-Ahsa. So would like to pass to the next slide, please. Dr. Ismail?
Okay, you don't have the control?
No.
Okay, all right. I think
Yes.
now you can.
Yes, thank you. So I will start in the abstract of this case study or for the thesis. This research aims to investigate how organization culture affect employee mental health through a qualitative and quantitative methods. Data on employee experiences and perspectives will be gathered to shed light on the impact of organizational culture on mental health. The study's primary objective is to analyze the extent of the influence and provide valuable insight for business. Introduction. Organization culture has traditionally focused on productivity and employee satisfaction. However, there is a growing body of research that suggests that employee well-being is also an important factor in organizational success. There are many different dimensions of employee well-being or well-being, including financial well-being, social well-being, physical health, work health and safety, environmental well-being, and work-life balance. The problem statement, conclude the problem statement in this slide. We'll start with the website growing recognition of the importance of mental health in the workplace, there remains a significant knowledge gap regarding the influence of organizational culture on the mental health and satisfaction of employees. This lack of understanding hinders organization from effectively creating supportive environment that promote employee well-being. Consequently, there is a need to investigate and analyze the ways in which the culture of a corporation affect the mental health of workers in order to provide valuable insight that can assist business in developing a strategy to enhance employee satisfaction and overall psychological well-being. The aims of the research to assess how workplace culture affect employee well-being because they have a direct bearing on employee engagement, output, and general pleasure, employee health, and happiness are essential to a company's success. To comprehend how corporate culture affects employee well-being in order to create a positive work environment and encourage employee development in all areas. Natural study is a quantitative and qualitative research aimed to understand the experience and perceptions of employees on how corporate culture influences and their well-being. For this study, interviews and observations will be served as the primary data collection method. The reason of the research is to gather a detailed, in-depth narratives from participants in order to comprehend the complex relationship between corporate culture and employee well-being. We have three main questions in this research. The first one, how does company's culture impact the employee well-being of its employees, or how does a company's culture impact the well-being of its employees? The second one, what aspects of a company's culture support the mental and emotional health of its employees? The third question is what are the leadership discourse principles and employee participation that are required to understand how company culture supports health and happiness? We have three hypotheses in this research or this thesis. The first one is there is a significant positive effect of supportive leadership on employee mental health and satisfaction. There is a significant positive effect on employee engagement, on employee mental health and satisfaction. There is a significant positive effect on a strong sense of belonging on employee mental health and satisfaction. So the three hypotheses is focusing on the satisfaction. So we will speak in the next slide how the study and the result of the study focus on the satisfaction as well. In this slide, we have two main definitions. The first one, organizational culture. The shared value, beliefs, norms, and practice within organization that shape its members' behavior and influence their experience. The second definition about the employee well-being. The employee well-being, the overall psychological, emotional, and physical health and satisfaction of employees in their workplace. The research suggests that organization culture has a essential role in determining employee happiness. The study will be done inside just one industry, limiting the transferability of the result to other fields. Furthermore, the focus on the research would be on employee perspectives, which may be at odds with those the organization executives or other stakeholders. The significance of the study, the research closes a knowledge vacuum by giving a comprehensive understanding of how business culture influence employee well-being. These results will be helpful to organizations since they will guide management and human resources in developing a more upbeat and supportive work environment for their employees. Finally, the research hopes to boost worker satisfaction by increasing opportunity for personal development and professional fulfillment. The literature review, I tried my best to just put some points about the literature review. I will start with employee wellness. It encompasses personal, mental, emotional, and physical well-being in additional to their level of commitment in their job. Emotional, physical, and psychology aspect all contribute to overall well-being. Employee happiness has been linked to increase productivity, innovation, and job satisfaction in several studies. The health and happiness of a company's employees are directly tied to ideal held by leadership. The methodology we use in this study, it's structured by qualitative and quantitative. For the qualitative and quantitative, we will know more in the next slide. And the result of the quantitative and the qualitative is according to the result, the culture of a business has a potential to have a significant impact. They're favorable by advisory on the health and happiness of its employees. According to the finding, leadership has a key role in determining the equality of the work environment that is provided by for workers. Participants stressed how important it is for managers to demonstrate care of their employees and make an effort to quality, I'm sorry for this one, but a pleasant environment in their workplace. It's important to build open line of communication in order to provide the staff member with opportunity to feel heard, informed, and involved in this decision making. The interpretation of findings. It's important to keep in mind that the results should be carefully and impartially examined while taking into account the limitation and the scope of the research. First, the study discovered a strong positive correlation between several aspects of corporate culture and workers' well-being. Training and development, employee independence, cooperation and collaboration, diversity and inclusion, and award and recognition have all been proved to have a substantial impact on employee satisfaction. The result for praise and reward demonstrate how important it is to acknowledge and value employee achievements. The results show that when employees feel their workplace is diverse and inclusive, inclusive employee well-being raises. Recommendation for action. Based on how the research conclusions on the impact of corporate culture and employee well-being were interpreted, a business may get a variety of recommendation. These rules to create environment where employee may work in health, joy, and pleasure. Comprehensive training and development program that support the expansion and improvement of employee skills should be funded by employers. Employees may benefit from regular training, seminar, and monitoring program. If they want to gain new skills, stay current with industry advancement, and enjoy their job more generally. Organizations should create a transparent, equitable system for praising employee for their contributions. Organizations should encourage culture that value employee autonomy, decision-making, and participation. Organizations should encourage interdepartmental cooperation, information exchange, and teamwork. Organizations should establish rules and practice to provide everyone with equal chance, remove discrimination, and foster and accepting culture. A recommendation for further study. Sorry. Even though research on how company culture affect employee well-being has provided some crucial information, more study is still needed to full understand this complex link. Researchers may monitor changes in a business culture and employee well-being by gathering data over an extended period of time. Comprehensive comparative studies may demonstrate how corporate culture differs based on the situation and how it has a variety of effect on employee well-being. A cross-cultural research may help determine if business culture and employee well-being are always related. Cross-cultural research may also be used to design cultural relevant changes and enhance employee well-being. And recommendation for further study, still on the same subject, future research may examine certain aspects of employee well-being such as job satisfaction, work-life balance, mental health, and engagement. The conclusion, finally, studies on how business culture influences work well-being highlight the importance of having a happy, supportive workplace. The study's findings shed light on the relationship between workplace culture and staff happiness. A good organizational culture, which include open communication, encouragement of employee growth, recognition of achievement, and powerful sense of community has a significant impact on employee well-being according to the literature review. And thank you. Thank you so much, Dr. Az. Thank you so much, Dr. Ismail. Appreciate your guidance through this semester and the previous semester for this study. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Sahm, for this presentation. And let's start some discussion to talk about your thesis. I hopefully, maybe if you have a hard copy of your
Yes.
thesis with you, okay, that's good. All right. So let's move to the title page at the beginning.
Yes.
As you mentioned under the title, you said it's a dissertation submitted to. So as we call it, a thesis. Okay,
Yes.
just make it change it to a thesis. This
Sure.
is something. Okay, the next page, the table of contents
Yes.
need to be according to APA style. Okay.
Yes, sure. Yes, that's my mistake. Yes, doctor. Yes.
Okay, so go to the reference and see how the criteria of APA and follow all guidelines regarding APA style.
Sure.
And this for this
No.
interruption.
No.
Okay, let's go back to your thesis. Move to abstract in page number 3.
Okay.
And again, APA style should be applied for all parts of the thesis, okay? So every single point, especially the formatting, I mean.
Sure.
Okay, the second sentence in the second line,
Okay.
this research aims to close a knowledge gap. I think it's better to say it's to fill the gap, not to close the gap, just to change the word.
Okay. Sure.
And the next sentence, the study will use the qualitative and the quantitative. So here in the abstract, you already finished. So you cannot say I will do something in the abstract because it's already done. Okay. So make sure you are using past tense.
Sure.
Okay. The second paragraph in the abstract, the purpose of these qualitative and the quantitative study. I think you can remove these qualitative and quantitative, just the purpose of the study directly, especially in the abstract. Focus on the main points. Try not to repeat any sentence.
Sure.
Okay, same. And this, the reason of the study. Okay. In the second paragraph, you say that the reason of this study is to provide a result to the question. I think it needs some paraphrasing. Just write it again to make it clear.
Sure.
And mind the tense of the words. Don't use, as I said, will be or something.
Sure.
Go to next page, please. Again, the name of chapters. Chapter 1. Write the name in a proper way according to APA style. And the first, or maybe the first section,
Okay.
the title of the section is in the following. We will discuss the different types of employee well-being includes. So this cannot be a title. Okay. So maybe this sentence can be as an introduction for the section. So
Yes.
find proper name for that or proper title for this section.
Sure.
Okay, now move to the problem statement.
Okay.
As I can see here, you are talking about the scientific gap and talking about what have been written about this problem. You are Sahm, can you hear me?
Yes, doctor. Yes.
All right. Sorry again for
No
this
problem.
interruption. Okay, we stopped at the problem statement, right?
Yes.
Okay, I think you have to rewrite the problem statement because you talk about the issue in the research, scientific research. In the problem statement, you have to describe the issue in reality, what's going on and what's happening in reality, and then you go through the context to reach the point of your research. So we start to talk about the general context of the problem in reality, and then we end with the exact problem we are going to do research on this point. Okay. Next is the research objective and aims. I think it's enough to say it's for this section as research objectives and objectives, not objective. Okay. For the objectives, first of all, you have to number the objectives. You did not put numbers here. So write numbers. And the second issue, I feel you try to justify the objectives, because here you said to assess how workplace culture affects employee well-being. Okay. Then you add another sentence, said because they have a direct bearing on employee engagement, output, and general pleasure, employee health and happiness are essential to a company's success. So this is a kind of justification for the Okay, so it's better to say the research design, the methodology, something to make it more clear and more specific. In scientific research, we do our best to be specific on the exact point we would like to discuss, because the word nature is very general.
Yes.
Too many things can be under this title.
You're right.
Okay, in the research questions, the third question, I think it's better to review and discuss again with your supervisor. Maybe you have to paraphrase the because you put two things together, two in one. What are the leadership discourse, principles, and employees' participation that are required to understand how company culture support health, happiness? So I feel these are two in one. So try to paraphrase this. This is one point. And then the other point, usually you have to, the questions should reflect the objectives. If you have 3 questions here, you must have 3 objectives, and both should reflect each other. Okay, in hypotheses, the third sub-hypothesis is, you said there's a significant positive effect of a strong sense of belonging on employee mental health and satisfaction. Can you explain this for me, please? What do you mean by strong sense of belonging?
What I meant in this sentence, doctor, like if the employee have mental health, positive mental health, he will feel like belong to the company, and his satisfaction will be high and raised.
Okay, that's good. Okay. Here you mentioned the hypothesis, but you didn't say anything about the variables. What are the variables of your research?
I'm sorry, I missed this one, doctor.
Okay. Review this point. Okay, there's definitions. In page 7, go to the significance. Let me ask you a question, Sahm.
Yes.
In some parts, do you write in Arabic and translate the research?
No, just in my mind, but I didn't translate from Arabic to English direct. No.
Okay, the significance of the study. Please read the first sentence.
This research closes our knowledge vacuum by giving a comprehensive understanding of how business culture.
You already used knowledge gap. So here you said knowledge vacuum. So usually we don't use this word. It's a knowledge gap.
Okay.
This give an impression that you just do some translation, direct translation. Okay.
Okay.
All right. Go to the page 8, please. Chapter 2.
Yes.
Okay, the second sentence, uh, be- instead of saying the reason for this research, it's better to say the aim of this research or the purpose of this research. Review this word
Okay.
with your supervisor. Okay, is to look at the major studies and concepts that prove the culture impact workers' mental health. Okay, here you said for this research. You mean this research or this chapter?
No, I meant the research itself, not the chapter, not chapter 2.
Okay, so I think this is not the right place for this sentence because it could be in the introduction.
Okay.
Because at the beginning of the chapter, maybe we can introduce the chapter. We talk about the content of the chapter itself.
Sure.
For the literature review, you didn't provide any subheadings. So it's all of them. If I would like to read something exactly related for well-being, organizational culture, I have to read all the literature to find out where did you discuss something. So please make some subheadings to divide.
Sure. Now your sound, I cannot hear you, doctor.
The first section in chapter,
It's now it's now it's good. Now it's good.
I mean, page 13, methodology, chapter 3. Can you hear me?
Yeah, now I can hear you. Yes.
Sahm, can you hear me now?
Yes, yes. Now I can
Okay.
hear you. Yes.
So, chapter 3,
Page 13, right?
chapter 3, page 12,
Well,
page 12, sorry.
okay. Yes.
Okay. Study design and data collection. I think better to separate them into two sections. Make one section for the study design and another section to
That,
explain the data collection process. Okay, the first paragraph, you said this chapter gives an
in-depth look.
in-depth look at. So the first paragraph, I think you give an introduction for the chapter because you already said this chapter. So it's better to move it only the first paragraph to move it at the beginning as an introduction for the chapter, and then you go to the other. Okay, now I really confused about the methodology. In
Okay.
some places you said you used mixed method, you used quantitative and qualitative, and I really don't know where is the quantitative methods you are using. Can you explain for me how did you apply the both methods? How did you do the qualitative
Okay.
data collection
Uh,
and analysis, and same for the quantitative?
Thank you, doctor. In the beginning, I started my research with the quantitative. So I had some interviews with my colleagues and other hotels. Like I'm working in a hotel sector,
Again,
so I
please.
had some
This part, this is which part?
quantitative. Hello,
Which part? This the interviews in quantitative or in qualitative?
quantitative, qualitative. Sorry, sorry. Okay, so I had some
Okay,
interviews with
go
the
ahead.
with the employees. Um I had asked about some questions about the leadership, about the well-being, health well-being, about how they feel at work, how and how the leadership and the company recognize them.
Okay.
So then we moved after advice from Mr. Az, from Dr. Az. He advised me to make another quantitative study to support my thesis. So I prepared some questions like a survey, and I distributed for another colleagues so they can like answer these questions. And the questions mainly
Okay,
about
Sam.
reward and
Okay.
recognition, about.
Okay. So my point is that this separation and all this work is not clear in your thesis. So please make it clear in each section what are the qualitative procedures and the quantitative procedures. For example, when you talk about the data collection, make a part for quantitative and another part for qualitative. And same in data analysis. Just to make it clear for the reader, where is the qualitative side and what is the quantitative side.
Sure,
In
sure.
data analysis, page 14, you said that the process known as thematic analysis. What's your reference in thematic analysis?
What do you mean by reference, doctor? Like the reference, your
I
sound
mean,
is cutting.
no, you are
Sometimes I cannot
thematic
hear.
analysis is now you can hear me. I think there's a delay
Sometimes there
in the
is a
voice
like a not delay,
between
it's a cutting.
me and you.
So,
Okay, so I mean, which reference you follow to do the thematic analysis? From where you know about thematic analysis?
the reference thematic. There is a lot of references. If you just allow me to go to the references, so I read from where the thematic analysis came up.
Okay, okay, check this, and put a reference to let the reader know you are following which reference in this analysis.
Yeah, sure. Because I listed the
Okay.
references on the separate page.
Um, okay.
Yes.
Move please to chapter 4, page 15. Uh, before before discussing the results, you have to talk about the sampling procedures and the samples they already respond to you in your research and data collection in qualitative and quantitative side. So you have to provide some description about these participants or respondents before discussing the results. Okay.
Okay.
All right. I think the time is out here for this discussion. Put some comments for you in the file. I will submit it to
Thank you,
you
doctor, so much. Thank you.
later. But uh, I think there is some repetition in figures, and you didn't write names or titles for the figures and tables. Okay. For example, if you go to page 18,
Hmm.
employee well-being rating scale. So
Yes.
there is no name or number for this table. So you have to write that and the figure at the next,
Yes.
and same for others, figures
Sure.
and paragraphs and tables. In page 22, I think this figure repeated
Not the
because
table,
it's
the figure.
already
Yes.
same figure
Yes.
in,
Yes.
at the beginning of the.
You are correct. Just today I
Yeah, so
was
you have to
reading.
be careful about that.
Just I discovered this. The table is correct, but the
Okay,
figure
in
itself is.
page yeah, so change it, please.
Yeah,
Okay,
sure.
in data analysis for the interviews, you have to use some parts from the interviews, some codes from the interviews to support your analysis. You have to take them exactly as mentioned, as said by the interviewees. Okay, so this
Yes,
is
yes,
very important to support
yes,
your analysis.
yes. I have this data. I will modify
Okay,
it.
Sahm. Okay, the last point is to follow the APA style. Please be careful and follow the APA style in each part in your thesis, because actually there is a lot of mistakes in APA style. So do your best to correct all formatting and citation according to the APA style. Okay. Excuse me now, allow us, me and Dr. Ez, to discuss outside the platform. So we will leave the platform for a while to for some discussions.
Thank you, Doctor. Thank you, Dr. Azza, as well. You did a great job, and your comments
Okay, we
much
will.
appreciated. I will take it in consideration, and I will
All right,
modify. Thank you so much.
inshallah. So we will return back after a while.
Thank you, Doctor.
All right, Sahm, can you hear me? Okay, so according to the protocol, please stand up. We will announce the final decision. I'll start with the Arabic part. طيب. بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. نتيجة الحكم على أطروحة ماجستير في إدارة الأعمال في يوم الأربعاء الموافق 23 من أغسطس 2023 ناقشت اللجنة المكونة من دكتور عز العرب العوور مشرفا ورئيسا، والدكتور إسماعيل أبوسعدة مناقشا خارجيا رسالة الطالب سهم دياب القطامين، وعنوان الرسالة The Impact of Organization Culture on the Employees' Wellbeing Case Study Hotel Sector سعودي أرابيا الإحساء. وبعد المناقشة والمداولة أوصت اللجنة بمنح الطالب درجة الماجستير في إدارة الأعمال، وذلك بعد استيفائه كافة التعديلات على الرسالة والمتطلبات الأكاديمية الخاصة بالبرنامج. وإذ قررت اللجنة منح الطالب درجة الماجستير توصيه بأن يجعل ما تعلمه في خدمة وطنه وأمته. ألف مبارك. انتقل للإنجليش بارت. Final decision on MBA thesis today on Wednesday, 23rd of August 2023. The examination committee consisting of Dr. EzzElarab Elawoor as a supervisor and chairman, Dr. Ismail Abusaada as an examiner. The title, The Impact of the Organization Culture on the Employees' Wellbeing, examined the thesis of the student Sahm Diab Alqatamin. After discussion and deliberation, the committee recommended granting the student a master's degree in business administration after fulfilling all academic requirements of the program. Congratulations, Sahm.
Thank you. Thank you دكتور. Thank you دكتور عز. يعني كان ودنا نسمع صوت الدكتور عز بس يعني للأسف. جد شكرا. Thank you so much.
اوكي بتكلموا على الخاص ما فيش مشكلة.
أكيد
بإذن الله تعالى.
شكرا.
All right, so congratulations again. Thanks a lot for Dr. EzzElarab for all his efforts in this thesis, and please follow up with Dr. Ez regarding all comments and corrections. All right, sure. Thank you so much. So we will stop for a few minutes just to prepare for the next session with Rana Urabi. Thank you, Sahm. Thank you, Dr. Ez, and see you inshallah.
Thank you so much.